Kind of, but not really.
It's not the bait you're thinking of. No.
Yeah.
It's not the. This is the police.
No. Gur is easily 23, 25.
Yeah, she's not jailbait.
No, not at all. But anyway, this is Fanfiction Contempt Theater. Ladies and gentlemen, strap yourselves into your seats. Prepare.
You weren't kidding.
Your favorite
we weren't.
liquor of choice.
Yeah, cheers. I'm up for another shot.
Because tonight, I promise you a festivity of hilarity and pain.
That can only be bad.
I don't even know what I'm gonna pick, but honestly, it's probably gonna be bad regardless of what I pick.
Look, everything you pick is fucking bad.
Yeah, that's a fair point. How familiar with Girl Genius are you guys?
I don't even know what that is.
Girl, what? What? No, never heard of.
Okay.
Girl, why does that sound familiar?
It's a very popular webcomic.
No, webcomic. Yeah, no thanks.
Wait, is this like a steampunk?
Yes.
Oh, I used to read that as it updated, but God, that was.
They've picked back updating regularly.
I last read it like 4 years ago, well before they stopped updating regularly. So I'm probably a couple thousand out of the loop.
You should probably pick it up again. Honestly, they are a very long running series, by the way. They actually have printed books of them now at this point.
Oh yeah, I know. I've considered picking them up because this is actually really enjoyable,
honestly,
clever writing.
I recommend it. It's a very good story. Not very good is in like how best to put it, not very good is in like technical quality. It's not like the plot's kind of, all over the place.
Oh yeah, no, writing wise it is ADHD.
But it's a very interesting story filled with amusing, interesting characters. There's good dialogue and interaction between them. And the plot has, to be fair, stayed mostly on one track.
Damn.
Yeah, there's just a lot of jumping points for the sake of plot progression.
Yeah.
And there's some pretty interesting world building happening, some hints at what's going on in the world and the history.
It's a fairly consistent world building too.
Yeah, which is nice, and that's also something that's rather unique for a long-running web serial like this.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Also, the fact that they've run for this long is nothing shy of astounding.
Yeah, but not really though, because usually the web comics that go really long tend to be the ones that are made by more than one person.
Yeah, which this one, I don't know if it's more than them, but I know it's a married couple that's been working on this thing.
Yeah, it's a married couple, and I believe they do have an actual writer now, or a backup writer, or a storyboard writer, or something like that. Like they do have a small team built around it now.
Which, by the way, it's always cool when they get successful enough for that kind of stuff to happen.
Oh yeah,
let's hope they don't
go. Yeah.
Let's hope they don't rooster teeth it.
God, yeah.
Yeah. Well.
I don't think. I think Rooster Teeth is a unique situation because they were a group of people that entered into a market that wasn't really a market, and then it became a market. And so because they were some of the quote-unquote first people in the market in terms of name recognition.
Not even first. They made the market. They were the first recorded machinima.
Really? They were the first to ever record machinima?
Yes. They are the creators of that style of media.
Really? Because I could have sworn that machinima.com existed before Rooster Teeth.
I don't remember.
If it did, it was really close run.
Well, no, the thing is like early machinima.com was basically like Counter-Strike Source 1.6 and crap. and it was very much in the early stages of before people really had access to anything. They literally had to have, if they wanted to do like a 20 character show, they had to have 20 people. They couldn't like have NPCs run around and do things. They couldn't, spawn models in and have them perform animations. They had to have a full cast, and so it was very restrictive. And Rooster Teeth, I will say that I'm pretty sure Rooster Teeth was one of the first successful. I don't even say companies; I would say groups.
Well, the Wikipedia page is saying that the first known machinima was a '96 film made with Quake, allegedly.
I'm not surprised. I'm not
short 100-second demo file.
I like the way you say that. Allegedly.
No, it looks like they're considering like a trailer as a machinima film.
Technically, it is.
It's a 100-second demo file. Yeah. Yeah, no, this looks more like it was like a teaser of, hey guys, look what we've been working on, look at the cool stuff you can do, and that's it.
Machinima, I believe, is some sort of slang for machine movie. Something like that.
Yeah, Machinima.com launched in 2000.
Rooster Teeth was 2003.
Yeah.
But like as it stands, though, RTs are generally considered like this is where machinima as a
like
form.
I said, as I will go as far as to say, while they might not have been the first machinima, they were definitely the most known and successful in the early days.
They were the pioneers, so to speak.
Yeah, more or less, they were the pioneers. While you might have had.
I'm sorry. Why the fuck is there a satire piece linked in the 9K chat?
Phoenix Stride doesn't know what channels are.
Jesus Christ, Sneaky! Why do you keep bringing more boomers? Stop it,
Max. All I can attract is people who are like me. Okay.
You're the most boomer tech guy I know, too.
You're welcome. Look, I know how to fix a lot of shit. Don't ask me software issues, please.
Listen, I've got that same issue, but like I can at least work with software, unlike you.
Like people like fucking explaining software shit to me. I'm just like, oh, look, man, I'm the hardware guy. Like this is actually a thing that happened with my my teacher back when I was taking routing class, because we worked with both software and the physical routers, and I am just not fucking getting the software end, right? I just don't fucking understand it in the goddamn slightest. But he's like, alright class, time for a practical demonstration. You need to set all your shit up. Everyone forms into groups. Obviously, I'm left out alone, and I'm like, okay, whatever, cool. I fucking finished before everyone else, and my router was the only one without issues. I'm just like, hardware, boom, done, set up. Connects to everyone else, no problem.
Did you really just say that farmers grow chips?
Yes, he did. You fucking moron.
What?
You know what I mean.
But you literally say for them to grow things like chips and potatoes.
I'm changing it.
No, you can't change it.
I'm taking a snapshot of this. It will be forever memorialized.
Yeah.
God damn it, Ad.
Fuck you! I'm trying to be helpful, and you fuckers are memeing.
Yes.
What? I'm sitting here talking about important things.
I'm not talking to you, am I?
The advent of commercialized fanfiction.
Listen, no one here is memeing. We're making fun of you the same way I make fun of Sneaky for grammar fuck-ups.
If you look up, C8 asks a real question. Arn responds with a joke.
As I do.
If you haven't noticed, we're also in the Fanfiction 9K chat.
Yeah.
That really should be going into debates and controversy, yeah.
Yeah.
Or main.
So,
or even writing, because it has to do with
to wrap it all up, Girl Genius is a really cool story. It's I wouldn't recommend you pay money, but it's a good story, and if you feel like supporting them, they do have their entire series printed out into anthologies at this point. Or you can access it all for free on girlgenius.com.
Honestly, I'd really appreciate if they just make those anthologies available on Kindle for like half the price of the print. Just to have an easy on the go.
You can always talk with them about that. But anyway, so I guess we won't do this story then. But I definitely do recommend Girl Genius. It was a Familiar Zero Girl Genius crossover, which obviously means it went fantastic.
Oh, I'm sure that died.
So the theme of Girl Genius is mad science steampunk.
Interesting.
Which is, always a winning combo.
And instead of like superpowers, people have different levels of sparkness, as it's called. And the greater of a spark you are, basically the more autistic you become. But you also get major bonuses to inventing.
Ah, yes. Autism is my superpower.
Literally, yeah. Pretty much, Girl Genius is literally the webcomic where autism is a superpower.
Damn.
See.
But since we can't do that, this looks edgy enough. You know what? Let's do this. Copy. And a paste. Alright. So now we will switch over to the fic.
Once again, it's time for Sneaky to commit crimes against humanity.
Hold on.
What the fuck?
Twitch TOS says I'm not allowed to do that while on Twitch. So I'll have to wait till afterwards.
What, commit war crimes, or?
I mean, they're more like Geneva suggestions.
Yeah. And Geneva disregarded.
Okay. Why
I
is this
already
not in the
see
crossover
bold.
section first off?
God,
Don't you just love those stories?
I don't like this. No.
No, I don't. Right before we get into this, you just reminded me, Max. So, we were complaining about Ruby in another Discord server, and someone goes, "So I've never really heard of Ruby before, and after hearing all your complaints with it, I have to ask, what's Ruby even about?" And
that's a good question.
Someone instantly jumps in with, "Who knows? The writers sure didn't."
True.
No, here's the worst part. The writers did, and then they threw all the notes out that Monty allegedly left them. Remember, they said that he gave them enough notes to complete the series in totality within 9 seasons, and then admitted to rewriting all of Volume 5 because people were correctly guessing plot points.
Guys, we gotta be different. We have to not be to do the things that people think we're gonna do.
Let's not do the thing that we told people we do.
Yeah. Also, I mean, it's not only that. It's like, dude, we're in the year 2020. Well, not at the time, but you get it. We're in the 21st century, right? Yep. Originality doesn't exist anymore in terms of storytelling. Literally every single plot point or story point, theme, trope, everything's been done by this point, right? You're not going to come up with something original at this point. And if someone is autistic enough, and their audience is, somebody will be able to put it all together and be like, "Oh, yes, well, I remember this story in my research that I found when I was browsing the internet at 1 a.m. in the morning that relates to this, and by jumping over here to this, we could make the logical deduction that this is going to happen." And it's like, there is nothing hidden anymore in the age of the internet. Like, you're not going to be able to surprise people the way you want to. Now,
yeah.
Because, I mean, like the big thing in the past, like, what was it? Would you say 5 years with anime? The big thing has been trope breaking, where they introduce a trope, and then they're like, "Psych! You thought we were going to do this trope, actually, we're going to flip it on its head."
deconstruction
that's
and
become
subversion.
that has become much more common.
Right.
It's been done best in terms of using it for comedy, though. The ones who try to take it seriously are kind of
Right.
like,
Well, I mean,
And-
sometimes the tropes can be taken seriously with a trope break, but
oh, yeah. And then some people fall flat on their face. Like, I've got a
Yeah.
friend who really loves ReZero. I'll
right.
admit ReZero is
It's-
intriguing.
It's okay.
The problem is that the first episode,
Yeah. The first
he's like,
episode's terrible.
this is when I get to do this trope.
Yeah.
And it's like,
no.
because you directly referenced it, you have literally ruined any entertainment I can get from this. Getting through the first 45-minute episode, really fucking hard. Because it's so poor with its humor and trope breaking.
Yeah, it's sort of the same reason why I couldn't get in with Konosuba, because Konosuba, I wouldn't say it was too much on the trope breaking. It's less trope breaking and more trope parody.
Yeah. Trope
Yeah.
fucking.
Like, it's
Yeah.
still doing the trope, but as it's doing the trope, it's making fun of the trope.
Yeah, it took one logical extreme and went to the opposite end of that spectrum.
But the characters, I just couldn't find enough about them that I enjoyed to put up with the rest of it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, you know?
That's
I
fair.
feel you.
Me neither. I watched like 2
Like-
episodes. And I was
Like, don't
fuck.
get me wrong, I've watched the guy who made Konosuba went on to make another anime about a wrestler from Japan ending up being isekai'd.
Oh, the dude who loves animals.
But he loves animals, and
Yeah.
they want him to go kill a bunch of animals, and he's like, well, I'm just gonna befriend them instead, and not do that. But like that's actually a fairly amusing story, because I like the characters enough to be like, oh, what are they gonna do next? I know it's a comedy, so I'm not taking it too seriously.
Oh,
But
yeah.
with Konosuba, I just don't like the characters.
And you've talked about this because it reminded you too much.
It reminds me of Dota games.
It reminds you of Dota and MMOs because you played with those
For
characters.
Sneaky,
Yeah.
I would say for Sneaky, it was Dota. For me, it was MMOs. And I was like, but here's the right? It's funny if you haven't dealt with the person who's on the mic going, hit
Right,
right?
yeah,
They're doing a shitty girl voice going, yes, hit me harder. Like,
Hmm.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, that's
and you're like, you're right, and you're like, I am just here to try to get my orange paladin sword.
right, yeah.
I don't want to deal with this. My normal group isn't here.
Or I actually literally, it's kind of funny because before I watched Konosuba, I actually literally dealt with an issue similar to one of the plot points earlier. I think it was Aqua who attracted a bunch of toads.
yeah.
Right at the start, early in the
Oh
early
wait, is this
episodes.
the story of how you pulled an entire forest because of your pet?
No. It's actually the opposite. Is I was the tank in this story. I had just run an instance maybe like a week earlier, in which I had a hunter who constantly overpulled, with the justification that because I'm the tank, I should be able to handle it.
Not how that works.
Throughout the entire, I mean, yeah, I was a blood DK, so obviously I could handle it. But he constantly was pulling, on not letting me pull as a tank. The person who's supposed to be pulling, constantly pulling. And he's like, "Well, you're the tank. You're supposed to just get their aggro." It's like, I'm a fucking DK. I can survive a lot of shit. Grabbing aggro is not what we're good at.
I can attest to this.
Well, yeah, because so for people who don't understand, there are two kinds of tanks in WoW, and there are tanks that have a much easier time getting the enemy's attention, but need more support to survive getting that attention, and there are tanks that have a much easier time surviving having a lot of attention, but don't necessarily have the best tools to generate that attention.
And to put it more simply, DKs don't have a taunt.
Yeah,
or rather,
that too.
they finally do,
Oh,
but
do they really?
it's much longer
Jesus
than
Christ.
everyone else's.
I mean, Death Grip, I guess, counts as a taunt, but
That also is a pull, so it
Yeah.
doesn't really count.
that doesn't really count, no. DKs
Yeah.
keep aggro by just doing more DPS than the DPS. Fucking
Basically,
Megamind.
Big
They
brain.
turned it into a massive AoE, and you just deal more damage because you got dots in AoE for everything.
I fucking... I love DKs.
Your main attack now, when you're standing in the AoE, hits 5 things.
What's this default ability do? Oh, it heals you for 45%. I'm sorry, fucking what? And that's my default. I fucking love DKs.
I remember the days where we had 2 of each rune. Oh, those were such good
IRL
days.
Rocket League memes make me lose it. Okay, you know, okay, we're done. We talked about it all. We're moving on. All right, let's get into it. So anyway, this is a Harry Potter Dresden crossover that isn't in the Harry Potter Dresden section, assumably because it wants more attention. It
Can I just
unfortunately
say-
did not get it.
I mean, yes, which is good. Please stop doing Harry Dresden and Harry Potter.
They really don't.
It
They
would
don't.
take a really,
Yeah,
really
just-
good writer to make those 2 crossovers successfully, and you're not it.
As it's actually, I was talking with someone recently about soft and hard magic, and Harry Potter actually, both Harry Potter and Harry Dresden sort of occupy the mild magic. I don't. Both of them aren't soft or hard,
Well, I
but
was gonna say, what's weird is they both started out as what I would call like medium magic.
yeah, Dresden leans more towards hard, where Harry Potter leans more towards soft. But they're both. They both take from both sections, which also makes it basically impossible to cross them over.
Yeah.
Because with Dresden, if you put Harry Potter, just non-fusion, if you put Harry Potter into Dresden, you have to come up with a reason why Harry Potter has magic, or maybe he doesn't have magic anymore, and then you just have a sort of boring story. But you know, you'd have to come up with why Harry Potter has magic, which means you actually have to figure out how the fuck the magic system in Harry Potter works. Which, I mean, is less issue, but then you have a bunch of issues like trying to, you know, balance it to the Dresden section so you can actually write an interesting story, which a lot of people really don't know how to do. But then if you put Dresden into Harry Potter, then you have to be like, oh, how the fuck do you make that work? And if you, God forbid, you try to do a fucking fusion world of the two, as much of a nod as I'll give to the people that are just like, yeah, wizards kind of just isolated themselves and totally hid themselves from everyone else. It's like, all right, fine. That's not the worst you could have done with how a fusion works. So, you know, at least you tried to explain why never before has this crossover happened, basically.
Well, and they're right. It fits nicely enough into the actual Dresden Files mythos where, yeah, the Dark Ages happened and a lot of people were like, oops, we need to go deep underground.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, at least until the latest 2 books.
Yeah. So it's not as bad, but it's still just fusion worlds for just Harry Potter in general doesn't work because it just doesn't. It doesn't have an outline system, basically.
It just doesn't.
Well, no, it's because like with Lord of the Rings, magic in Lord of the Rings is extremely soft magic. It's very freeform. Yeah. It worked because it did, and we needed it to.
Well, also, but let's be clear, Tolkien does an excellent job of almost never busting out magic.
Right, but it's also low fantasy.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna say it's I would say it's like medium low because elves, dwarves, orcs.
Right. Well,
Absolutely a creation myth. Like
low fantasy doesn't refers to magic usage, not so much the races that exist in it.
I know,
Yes,
but like
racism.
it's one of those things where it's like it doesn't quite go out of the way to do it. Like there are still magic weapons and stuff like that.
They're implied magic weapons that have effects like it's very sharp and it glows. That's what low fantasy is. Is the magic is basically minimal to non-existent, and when it is used, it's typically not, like world-shaking
Yes.
in its impact. So
Except for the one old guy who gets to do whatever he wants, which is in pretty much most of them, I would say.
Yeah, pretty much,
yeah.
Super Potatoes asks, what is soft magic and hard magic? Soft magic, real quick and dirty summarization of soft and hard. Soft magic is more or less Deus Ex Machina sort of magic, in where things happen because I needed them to, and the magic system that exists is more or less just there to serve as a plot convenience. Why can't we beat the wizard? Oh, because he has magic. What kind of magic? The kind of magic that stops you from beating him immediately without going on this quest. Versus hard magic. Now, probably the best example of hard magic that exists is, in fact, D&D. It's a very structured form of magic. You can only cast this many spells per day. You have access to these specific spells because of your specific way of getting spells. And you have to do rituals, you have to get components, you have to do a dance, you have to say words. It's all extremely structured in how the magic operates and how it interacts with the world, and the way it's categorized. Probably the best example of hard magic that exists. A good example of soft magic is, I don't know, Star versus the Forces of Evil. If anyone's familiar with that.
Mildly.
Soft magic is not explained to the reader. Yeah, pretty much.
Well, it's not just that it's not explained to the reader. It's also it's much easier to like invent stuff. Like
Yeah,
no, Goblin Slayers really isn't necessarily all that hard, because even though Goblin Slayer's weird because it's absolutely using the D&D rules, but it never explains to people that it's using the D&D rules.
Goblin Slayer is soft magic masquerading as hard. In Goblin Slayer, how magic is used is soft magic. It's used as a plot device and pretty much never outside it. It's not explained why the priests have spells. Oh, well, I pray. Okay, well, does that actually do anything? Does the god actually exist? Does the god actually answer the prayers? Or is this just sort of like a system?
Yeah, that is.
Is that when?
The gods and goddesses are a thing, and they are explained to be things throughout the manga.
I'm aware
and the
the
anime.
gods are explained, but it is
in the actual magic, at least for priestess. I don't know about the others, but it would be assumed that they made contracts like the shaman.
Right, but assumed
she
is
beseeches.
Assumed. That's soft.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is for
That's
the
my
shaman
point.
and all that crap.
Goblin Slayers
the
is weird because there's a ton where they don't explain it because, like, all credit to the guy who's writing it. He's clearly a big fan of D&D, and he's clearly a big fan of...
Oh, no. He actually came out and said that he was heavily inspired by how D&D uses magic.
Yeah. Well, and it's not just that, right? Like, there's all kinds of cheeky little things that he puts in there. Like, at one point, someone utters a curse, and the curse is Gygax. Or the first big terrifying monster the party fights, it's a beholder, right?
Right.
And you can tell just how hard he is dancing on the copyright infringement line, to which I salute that man.
Yeah, that was pretty funny, yeah.
I salute him.
But, no, Goblin Slayer in the end is soft magic masquerading as hard. It is hard magic if you consider the lore, but because of how it's expressed to the audience, it's soft magic, because it's more or less just used as a plot device. The only time we ever really see magic being used in Goblin Slayer is when Goblin Slayer needs to come up with a new way to kill goblins.
More or less. It does get explained from Priestess that she gets it from her goddess, but that's the only instance from it.
Well, and here's the thing, right? I would call Goblin Slayer like medium because there's lots of things that they explain, right? There's all kinds of things that they actually bother to explain. Like this is what protection does. This is what.
Yeah, but
it explains the magic
like, that's the
and
problem,
what
right?
the magic does.
Weird.
But
explains some of Shaman stuff as well, like
it explains
components
some of
in trade for service with sprites.
That's true. Yeah, that's fair enough.
It even explains. It actually explains a surprising amount of Lizard Priest stuff too. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah, but his is a whole lot of component casting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like he's closer to
with
a warlock than anything else.
That's true. Yeah.
But again, so right, they do it. They explain a weird amount of stuff, and it's like, what is going on here?
Right. That's okay. I'll give you that. Yeah.
But on the other hand, right, you have stuff like Goblin Slayer using Gate.
Right. Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Which
that one
granted,
is just
it's a
straight
modified
up.
version of Gate, but he still shouldn't, right? Playing strictly by the D&D rules, he should try to use Gate and go, and then the scroll goes, come back later. You're too shit.
Yeah, more or less. I mean, I do remember in 3.5 you could basically bullshit using scrolls with use magic item, I believe, or something like that. Like, it was it became a progressively more difficult DC depending on what you were scroll you were using, but it technically could be done. They simplified that in 5e massively to you can only use scrolls for spells you can cast.
Well, no. Didn't they make it so you can use certain stuff outside your spell list?
No.
No, that's right.
The spell has to be available to your class. It doesn't physically, like, you have to be able to theoretically cast it to cast the spell.
Yeah,
you can cast spells that are higher level than when you can currently cast, but that actually costs you a check you have to do. It's either like an Arcana check or something. But you actually need to succeed a check then to cast higher than what you can actually cast. But no, like, druids can only cast spells that druids can cast from scrolls. Which I don't think druid spells should be on scrolls in the first place. So, fine. You know, like, the only spells that should really ever be on a scroll, I would say would be cleric and wizard spells, to be honest, because cleric and wizards are pretty much the only ones that have actual rituals that they need to perform to get their spells effectively.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think. The wizards and stuff can do ritual castings.
Right, but no, that's my point though is for example in this is why D&D is such a great example of hard magic. So wizards in lore, to cast their spells every day, need to spend time memorizing and pre-casting every spell they're going to cast that day. This is 3.5, by the way. This is back when, as a wizard, you had to pick your spells for the day. Of like, I want 3 casts of Fireball, and like it was prestige class. a feat and a racial trait where you could swap, fireball to another same tier spell or a below tier spell.
Yeah.
But previously in 3.5 lore, which is way more coherent than 5e, wizards had to literally memorize every single one of their spells and basically either shorten the spell itself or say every part of the spell except for the last part. And that's why they were able to cast spells within 6 seconds, is because actually it takes them an hour to cast all their spells for the day, but they just finish invoking the spell when they cast it in a fight. And clerics have to pray and whatnot. From my memory, they also had to pick what spells they were going to use that day, but they were a lot more flexible in shifting around the spells.
Well, no. So what it was clerics. They had to pick the spells they were going to cast for the day, but they could substitute any spell for any other memorized spell.
Right, that's what it was. Yeah.
And they could also, even if they hadn't memorized it that day, they could always substitute any spell for a
heal
domain spell.
Yeah, a domain heal.
No, not just heals, but also if you were a priest of Sarenrae,
right.
It was at what 6th level or whatever, you got the Pillar of Fire, so you never had to memorize the Pillar of Fire.
Yeah, boy.
You could just always cast the Pillar of Fire.
Pillar. I loved Pillar. Pillar was a fun spell.
Yeah. Anyway, but the point is,
yeah.
Now to be fair, I do think it was nice to let wizards cast any spell from their spell list because they have their spell book. But that aside, it really did do a much better job of keeping things clear for people. The only time things got weird was when you got into Priests of Mystra.
Ah, yes, Priests of the woman who is in charge of wizard magic.
So, can you heal? No. But I can cast Magic Missile.
God. Anyway, so Demon's Fane, Merlin's Pain.
You know what? I want someone to make Fate Merlin, put him in a D&D game.
I think he would get along a little bit too well with what's his face?
Faceless.
Regis?
No. Old Man Magic.
Oh.
Blanking out on his name right now.
Elminster. I know.
Elminster, yes.
I remember because everybody was like, Elminster's cool, and I was like, let's read about Elminster. And in the first book, Mister's like, I will help you, but I'm gonna make sure that you're not an asshole with magic. So here's a pair of tits.
Yes. The power of gender bender.
Yeah, no, the god.
Pills.
The god was
Elminster.
like. It's the only time in fiction where a god literally went skedaddle skedoodle, your dick is now gone.
Not a noodle.
Your dick is officially become.
So anyway, HP Dresden Files. Unknown to Potter, there is a trail of blood to reach him in a world far from his own. What?
Okay.
Interesting.
Unknown to Potter, there is a trail of blood to reach him in a world far from his own.
To reach him, all right.
Wait, I'm sorry. Is this implying that this is in fact a crossover and not a fusion?
I have not the slightest fucking idea. Okay, look.
No one knows.
It says a world not his own, which could imply either a hidden world or literally a separate world.
A separate world, probably.
I'm
like 80% sure.
I'm really confused by the wording of this though. There is a trail of blood to reach him.
There, it's a different world. Because Dresden tried to stop him from entering his world. Though the wording there is kind of weird, not gonna lie.
What the? And a wizard there, Dresden, who is trying to stop the green-eyed demon with lightning scar from entering his world, though he doesn't know that he is.
Wait, are you implying that Potter doesn't know he's a green-eyed demon, or that Dresden doesn't know he's trying to stop a green-eyed demon? Because I got
Or
news
that
for
the
you.
green-eyed demon doesn't know he's trying to enter Dresden's world.
Or it could be that the green-eyed demon is trying to enter and doesn't know that Dresden's trying to stop him. You have succeeded in wording this 14 different ways.
What the fuck? I don't understand any of this, though. It's like, so, unknown to Harry Potter, there's a trail of blood that reaches him from a different world. But in that world, there's a wizard named Dresden who's trying to stop Harry Potter from entering his world, though one of them doesn't know that.
Yeah. God.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, 2007.
All right. Yeah, thank you, 2007. I really appreciate you you existing. This is a crossover of Jim Butcher's Dresden Files, which we would have known if you had actually put it in the Dresden Files crossover section. Too bad
Like
you
you're
were too
supposed
self-conceited to not do that. I'm too important to actually label my stories properly, you see.
Wish I was that important.
Wait. There's a Dresden Files show on Sci-Fi?
Yes,
yeah.
it was actually pretty good.
I'm gonna be real with you. I stopped watching Sci-Fi in like 2005.
Perfectly fair, but it was actually an okay story. It was actually okay. The actors and actresses did a pretty good job.
Really?
I still don't recommend like going back and watching it
Mm-hmm.
just because you can get a better result.
From the books.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have written it in a way that even if you haven't read or seen Dresden Files, you should be able to follow what's going on. Bullshit! Author, I don't even know what the fuck's going on, and I only read your summary!
Yeah.
Like, the summary is supposed to tell me the general gist of what's happening in your story. And I have no fucking idea what's happening in your story, besides that there's characters in them. Which
And
is
that
a pretty...
they're doing stuff.
Which let's be clear here, as a fan fiction, claiming that there's characters in your story is a pretty bold claim.
Really? Wow. Are you serious? Dude, that's fucking insane.
The books and the show are narrated in first person and told in a casual manner. You find out about Dresden Files' universe in pieces as he narrates his story, and I have tried to duplicate this. That's never words you want to hear in a fanfiction, to be honest. I have tried to duplicate what a writer who is far better than me has done.
Yeah.
Please take a look at my story to see if I have been able to give enough start building
You haven't.
at least a half-formed world for the reader, and how my
Nope.
second attempt at first person is.
Oh no.
Author's note. I started writing this chapter weeks before Stormfront was aired, so any similarities with the anime opening
My
I have
favorite
written
website. I mean, what?
is entirely coincidental. My proofreaders can vouch for that. Just ask them. But I won't tell you their names.
Well, of course not. Then you have to admit that this isn't actually proofread, it's just there.
Then they would have to admit they actually proofread this story.
Yeah. And I'm sure no one would.
A Harry Potter Dresden Files crossover. Harry. There's someone at the door. Bob. Wow, no punctuation. That's a great way to start off. This is no fucking punctuation.
Yeah, I mean, punctuation's, for bitches.
Yeah, clearly. Did I miss anything good? Yeah, you probably
No.
did.
No, not really.
Bob stood above me while I was
Bob better not be standing above him. Bob is a skull.
That's actually
Oh wow, it's actually spelled correctly. Fair enough.
yeah, it is.
Well, I was unceremoniously sprawled on the couch. All right, yeah, okay.
As opposed to, being ceremoniously sprawled on
As opposed to ceremoniously sprawling yourself on the couch.
Made as a fucking ceremonial outfit.
Mr.
Important shit.
My 30-pound cat.
That's a fat fucking cat.
That is a very fat fucking cat.
Jesus
Shouldn't
Christ.
that cat still be alive?
Mr.
No. Obese
my
cat.
30-pound cat,
Oh, shit.
jumped on my
Comma.
stomach, finally waking me up. So apparently he just misplaced his punctuation.
Damn, sneaky. You just got money.
I did just get money, thanks Pedro. Spicy liquid money. I do love my spicy liquid money. Too bad I only get like 6 spicy liquid money donations a month now. That's a real big rip for me,
Yeah. Come on, Super Potatoes. Gotta step up.
I mean, like, Christ, dude, like, six subs a month, it's like $12. Gonna be real with you guys, that's like $12 a month. That's not even enough to buy a fucking 4-pack of alcohol.
Yeah.
Sorry, what did I miss?
I was given some spicy liquid money.
By the Brazilian. I mean, well, now you have Nexus actually funding shit for you. So,
Yeah, I know.
That's a bit more.
Most of that money is gonna most of that alcohol, but it's pretty much all going to alcohol, so I can write this story for him. Because pretty much the only way I ever get creative is when I'm either sleep deprived or drunk, and I don't get sleep deprived anymore. I just fall asleep. So
that's fair.
I have to go with drunk. And
yeah.
That's gonna be interesting.
Fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah.
Max has seen me sleep deprived. It's effectively like me being drunk.
It's something.
Goes back after 2 months, rereads opening of fic. Max, what the fuck was I on? What the fuck were you on? Why did you allow me to write this?
I feel like you should ask yourself that, like, every time you look at something you've written. Honestly. Yeah,
I do.
That's fair.
Why do you think it takes me so long to write?
I don't know, dude.
See, this is why I commissioned Max, because I can just give Max money, and I don't have to worry about getting Max drunk to get him to write.
See, this is why I commissioned Orf.
Exactly.
Because I know Orf will actually write.
Yeah.
You were on soy. I don't know what that means.
I don't get commission.
Yeah,
that's because we don't like you.
Poor Gray here. He's just autistic about writing.
Gray's a good guy. He just, doesn't give any opportunities for people to send him money.
That's true.
I don't even know how to start, so...
Exactly, yeah. That's kind of a necessary part,
I'll just start linking my Patreon to the, No, I'm not just kidding.
Oh god, leak your pay to the scarab. Let's see how that fucking goes.
Honestly,
I
I wouldn't even do that until at least either the end of the story. Yeah, pretty much the end of the story. That's when I would even bother trying to do that,
That's fair.
because I feel like before I say, hey, pay me to write stuff, I should probably actually finish writing something.
Yeah, you know, that would kind of help, wouldn't it?
Sort of proof of concept.
Yeah.
What? Who? I mumbled, while habitually checking my shield bracelet.
Alright, you've immediately failed.
Yeah,
Harry Dresden does not use words like habitually.
that's fair. Then you can post it on my Patreon.
Like, if
I
he
will
was
do
going to say anything, it would be checking my shield bracelet, like my normal habit had ever since insert whatever terrible things happened to him at this point in the story.
that. And that would also give people who actually do have Dresden knowledge a roundabout estimate of what time periods they can blaze in.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dresden. Murphy's voice finally broke through, followed by sharp raps on the door. Bob, the spirit imprisoned in the skull.
He's really not imprisoned. It's where he lives.
He's Zombie the genie. Disappeared
No,
before he was
no,
seen.
don't mention genies around Bob. He'll just get horny again.
I stumbled out of the couch.
How
Out
does
of
one
it.
stumble out of a couch?
By being in it in the first place, I suppose.
Sticky, have
Oh.
you ever been so drunk you went inside your couch?
I don't own a couch.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
When you were when you were mooching off your parents, did you ever get so drunk?
I actually didn't drink back then.
I don't believe that.
No, genuinely, I didn't start drinking until right before year 2 of the podcast, right before I moved. It was like August or June or whatever that I started drinking. Right before I moved up to Vermont.
Oh.
So, and actually never had a single drop of alcohol before then.
Damn.
It helped that I still think to this day, pretty much any sort of hop, beer. I haven't had a good mead yet. I don't know if that's because they're using hops in it as well on top of honey, but I haven't had a good mead. Beer, IPA, stout, all of that shit. I cannot stand any of the light alcohols. The only light alcohol I can stand is hard cider. I just cannot stomach the rest. The rest of it just tastes god awful to me. And for the longest time, I just was like, well, alcohol tastes fucking awful to me. I'm not going to drink it. And then I started working for the US government and running a podcast about fanfiction.
What a sad life.
Then I started drinking.
Yeah, I mean, it would be necessary at that fucking point.
And I got investigated by by the federal government at one point because they're like, we got to make sure that we're not giving a drug addict a security clearance that he might end up.
Yeah, I was gonna
selling.
say. By the way, I lied through my teeth for you on that federal interview.
I appreciate that.
Does he work well with people?
Admits to a crime.
Does he work well with people? I was like, as long as he's given clear objectives, he's a pretty good teammate.
Okay, you know what? That's fair. That's true. That's a very careful phrasing, but it is all factual.
I didn't lie. I just.
I will come out and say, because my security clearance is a couple of years overdue now. But I will come out and say it now, as I clearly said to the person, I thank fucking God she took it as a joke. She's like, do you drink? I'm like, yeah. Would you consider yourself an alcoholic? Well, I wouldn't say I have an alcohol problem. But do you drink often? It's more like an alcohol solution.
Oh, yes. I mean, according to chemistry, alcohol is a solution.
She looks at me, start laughing. I'm like, yeah! That was totally a joke. And not me being totally fucking serious.
Yeah, hey, Max, I gotta ask, what questions did the federal government ask you about Sneaky?
Oh, they never got to my number.
Clearly, you were just too good. You were just too good of a reference that they were like, we don't even need to ask the guy that's known him for longer.
They never called me. I never got a message. My phone never rang with an official federal number. Nothing.
Anyway, so Dresden apparently lives inside his couch. That's a very interesting lore segment. Tripping over Mister, who seemed to be waiting for just that. Wait, what the? I stumbled out of the couch, tripping over Mister, who seemed to be waiting for just that. He gave him a disgruntled look. Wait, who's giving who a disgruntled look?
I assume he means Dresden is giving the cat a disgruntled look.
But this is all first person.
It's supposed to be, but this is a fanfiction author, so
Right.
they're dumb.
So they don't know what first person actually is. Got it. My favorite kind of author. The one that doesn't know what they're writing. Life's inequalities. I'm a wizard, but I can't get my cat to respect me. That doesn't really feel Dresden-y.
I mean, complaining about the cat not respecting him, yes. The way you phrased it, no.
Yeah, I was gonna say. My roommate for the first year of college was a massive fucking Dresden fan and wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. Which is probably why I put off reading it for so long. My name is Harry Blackstone Copperfield Dresden.
He would never give out his real name.
Also, probably wouldn't just randomly think it like, oh, I'm awake now. This is my full name. Oh, actually, you know what? I take that back. I don't think anyone does that. I don't, personally speaking, I don't wake up in the morning going, yes, my name is. I feel like that's like how you start the death flags. Get like body jacked or something, you know, by a spirit or something. Or an alien.
There's just a very patient demon sitting in Sneaky's room, waiting for him to say his full name.
I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. I think I've said my name.
Oh, I made a mistake.
Isley says, I think I've said my own name maybe once outside of introductions in the last 3 months. Well, okay. Being that Isley's an absolute fucking moron who would probably have to be reminded of their own name, I'm gonna say if he's only had to remind himself of his own name at least once, you know what?
Impressive, honestly.
I'm gonna say this author's a dumbass.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was kind of, already established.
That's fair enough. When things get strange, when what goes bump in the night flicks on the lights, and when no one else can help you, give me a call. What is he doing, a fucking Ghostbusters ad?
Yes.
I mean, that would actually be relatively in character for him to do a Ghostbusters parody.
Internal monologue Ghostbusters parody?
Maybe?
Fair enough.
Who you
Also,
gonna call?
It's
Yeah,
close enough to reality that I
What
can let it.
what
get away.
exactly is going bump in the night that also happens to flick on the lights for you?
That's actually a good question.
Probably anything from the Fae that wants to make you afraid by looking at it.
That's a fair enough statement. I have a very poor flight or fight response though.
Sneaky, you're not most people.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's fair as well. Yes.
That's actually very true.
Like genuinely, if I couldn't see the thing, I'd actually run from it. Just throwing that out there as a little bit of sneaky lore. Despite the fact that I only have like 0.5 working eyes, I'm I'm highly dependent on my sight for what I want to fight and what I don't want to fight. If I can't see it, I'm not going to try and fight it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sorry to disturb you, Your Highness. I affected an air and went to the door shirtless. I assume he's talking to the cat.
Yes.
I don't have fans or air conditioning, semicolon, electronics don't mix with me.
I mean,
From what I remember, yeah, that's in line with
That is
Dresden.
correct.
Yep.
let's put him in a blender with some microchips, see what happens.
But will he blend?
No,
I
he'll
think he
probably
will.
short the blender out long before you can blend him.
Damn. Well, I mean, depends on your attitude.
No, I mean it really doesn't. He will probably cause the blender
Well,
to blow a fuse
manual
first.
blender,
Yeah, I mean I suppose.
fucking
we could-
wheel crank blender. What's he gonna do? Stop physics?
I mean, he is a wizard.
What are you
That
gonna
is,
do?
in fact,
Stop
within his
physics?
wheelhouse.
Actually, yes.
What are you
Fuck.
gonna do? Stop physics? Wizard.
Damn, hard counter.
Don't you hate it when the wizard hard counters you?
It's hard counter to reality.
Fucking blue decks, man.
Mom, the wizard is casting time stop again.
Someone summon the Eldrazi.
No, that is not the solution.
Ah, yes. I see you're playing a mill deck. Let me introduce my own.
Or should we summon the slivers?
You know what? Honestly, I'll take a Slither Infestation over the Eldrazi.
That is the correct thing to say.
Which is sad in and of itself.
It kind of is, to be honest. Sorry to blah 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 blah. Things seem to short or blow up every time I got close to them.
I
It
just
makes the
realized
summers
something.
Unbearable. What?
Sneaky, they are 100% gonna make Elminster a Planeswalker, and I can't fucking wait.
Oh, they're doing that crossover, aren't they?
Yes!
Oh shit.
Like, you can't tell me they aren't gonna... Because listen, okay, latest Drizzt book, they did in fact have Drizzt achieve Transcendence like Grandmaster Kane, so he's definitely gonna be a Planeswalker.
Fuck.
He's definitely gonna be a Planeswalker.
Yeah. I think
And
Canterbury will as well.
She hasn't done Transcendence, though.
No, but she was the source of the spell plague.
That's true.
That seems to be a defining enough character trait.
Artemis Centauri is 100% going to be a black card, and I can't wait.
It's going to be interesting, to be honest.
Just slap that man with Death Touch.
Vigilance, First Strike, Death Touch.
By these stars combined.
Okay, so Wolfgar's obviously going to be red.
Double Strike.
Yeah, where's Brunior going to end up? White, maybe?
Yeah, I'd say white. Yeah, white.
Obviously, he's going to have Vigilant.
Yeah, Vigilance.
Oh, depending on which version of Wolfgar they go with, he's going to be Double Strike and he's gonna have vigilance because the Warhammer.
I mean, it really depends on how they manage the mana thing, because it might just be like a bonus cost to
True.
have the Ascension version.
And because you know that. Do you know what they're doing with it? Because they're already demoing the party mechanic in the latest version.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Are they seriously doing that?
No, it actually works pretty well. Basically, it's just the keyword. So, it's basically, are you casting lots of rogues? Have a bonus for casting rogues.
Okay, that's not as bad as I thought it would be.
There are party synergies across multiple lines, but they're all like multi-mana.
I feel like Jarlax is gonna end up being a deck type.
Yvonne's total. They're gonna make Yvonne a planeswalker too, right? Because she's basically a deity.
Who knows, dude? Who fucking knows at this point? The Drizzt series is wild.
She is gonna be. Oh, they're gonna make her black-white. They've got to.
Don't fucking say anything, Art.
Mixed race.
Keep that fucking mouth shut. Oh god. All right. Well, now that Arn's completely ruined this discussion, let's keep moving.
Yep. Oh yeah.
This is why I don't visit old people homes. Pacemakers. What about intermission?
I'm just gonna say that everyone's favorite detective is currently breaking physics in antechamber.
Also, is that ever a thing? Watching her play antechamber is painful. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's all of their streams.
I mean, yeah, that's true, but at least they get to enjoy happy Ina noises.
You know, that's fair. That's fair.
But regardless, I don't think pacemakers would really be affected too much. They're kind of like specifically designed to.
You know, Shadow, you might be right.
I find myself wondering if this fixes every. Well, I mean, honestly, the first chapter is not going to be covered. We might just move on to be clear.
Honestly, yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna waste the video on it. I'm just gonna give my opinion.
I am gonna moving on. The first chapter is fucking enormous, and to be clear, I kind of just really wanted to read like the start of it just to see if he even A, got Dresden correctly, B, how he was handling this, C, what the fuck was up with the summary, and D, to see if he was true to his author's note of like explaining shit in Dresden World to people who only know Harry Potter. And so far, he's failed on every single account besides maybe getting Dresden correct. A little bit. Put your shirt on, we have work. Yeah, no, look. So, here's the problem. Yeah, no, this is all fucking Dresden shit. Dresden shit. Okay, yeah. So here's the problem with this story. We're going to move on now. But here's the problem with the story. It's a Dresden story. It's a Dresden story in the Harry Potter section that's not crossover. So if it was a crossover story featuring Dresden as the main character, and the goal is to introduce Harry Potter fans to the Dresden world in the same way that Dresden was introduced to the Dresden fans, I would be like, alright, fine. This is a Dresden-centric story in the Harry Potter section that's supposed to introduce people who are coming for Harry Potter stories to Dresden. Not Harry Potter Dresden crossovers. Not Harry Potter crossovers. No, they're coming to the Harry Potter section for Harry Potter stories. And instead, they're getting a Dresden-centric story.
Imagine that.
I'm just going to say this now. Author, you're actually retarded. And I don't mean that in a pejorative way. I mean, you have actual mental deficiencies. Like, this isn't a personal attack. From the evidence I have gathered from reading your story and what your intentions were matched up against it, you have mental retardation.
Yep.
I'm going to keep drinking and read this story.
Seek emergency medical assistance.
You know what? Here we go. Hollow Knight and Ruby. We all love Hollow Knight and Ruby, right?
No.
Know nothing about Hollow Knight. I stopped caring about
Fun
Ruby.
little game. But
Oh, that's right.
I
No,
don't
that's
care
no,
about
it's
either.
Nosehair that cares about Hollow Knight. So we'll save that for when
Yeah.
Nosehair. Yeah, I love how Nosehair can show up for Dota, not invite me to it, and then not show up for the podcast.
He's playing
Wow,
XCOM right
what a
now. He's
tool.
probably suffering enough.
Even better is that I was in Dota in the main menu waiting for him.
Oof. I mean, to be fair, we always knew he was, just a terrible human being.
Oh yeah,
Big.
absolutely. Oh no.
He slept with a defenseless bag of Doritos after all.
Yes, indeed.
Jesus Christ.
I think we can, yeah, let's go with this. So, you know what? This could be, we haven't done Familiar Zero or Bloodborne in a while. I'm sure this won't be terrible.
Wait. Oh, it's Aaron D. Draven. Oh god.
Oh boy.
Wait, what?
That guy.
Do we know this guy? Should we know this guy?
I believe Ray remembers, but that guy was fairly active on Lupine's forum in like 2013, yeah.
Oh!
I think Shadow maybe remembers him too, if he's in the chat still.
So what you're saying is that we need Lupine to come on and apologize for allowing this person to exist.
Not necessarily no, because I'm fairly sure he was the guy who wrote like one of the biggest Harry Potter Sekirei crossovers. Yeah, Bloody Ashikabi. Yeah, that's it. Oh, God.
Wait, shit! This is the guy who wrote Bloody Ashikabi. I
Yeah.
mildly liked that story.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, it was edgy and cringy at times, but I still kind of liked it.
Yeah, I think like
It was
overall,
alright.
he's an okay writer. He's just really cringy occasionally.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
better than doesn't
Yeah,
surprise me.
he also discontinued it.
Well, yeah,
I will say
as
though.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do with a Sekirei story. I will say though that one thing I never liked about his stories was his complete inability to have any semblance of grammar.
Yeah.
Point in note, Bloody Ashikabi was all lowercase. The title of the story didn't have a single capital letter.
Yeah, I mean he fixed it at some point, but dude, fuck.
Oh, I read this thing.
Oh boy, that sounds
you
like
did.
enthusiasm from Gray. That means this story is bound to be good.
When Gray sounds like that, you gotta either go in or go away.
It's a reverse summon.
Let's make sure that's in the covered fix section before we ever come back to that again. Alright, so this is The Hunter by R1 D. Drivan. Sometimes, failing at something can have even harsher consequences than anyone could possibly imagine. Louis de la Valerie knows this. After ending the nightmare that plagued... Why is plagued capitalized? Plagued Yarnum.
Because it was a Nurgle plague?
I don't
Look,
think
you ask us like we know.
Yeah. The plagued Yarnum, Reconquista has no idea what they angered when they targeted the familiar exhibition and a certain princess. One-shot gore. Only 600 favorites, which actually is kind of impressive, to be honest, for both a Familiar of Zero Bloodborne crossover and a one-shot in general. So, you know what? Might be good.
Nah,
Might not be good.
Good. Okay. Yeah. probably.
You just
Like-
mentioned your issues with his grammar. Shut the fuck up, Shadow.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, but like, knowing like some of his other stories, it's not gonna be offensively bad, but it's not gonna be particularly good either. It's just readable.
It
Oh.
leans towards it's decent, and if you know more of the source material, it goes shit.
Oh, good. We
You're
have two
welcome.
people who really like the lore of Bloodborne here. And I'm sure they will be absolutely enthused to listen to this story. Won't you two?
Fuck you.
Oh yeah, I'm positively thrilled. Is the word I was looking for?
Well, it looks like Atin and Max are both dead, so we've already
Yeah.
knocked out 2 of the 4 contestants.
Hold on a minute. I don't know that much about Bloodborne's lore. I played the game.
Oh, that's right. You blitzed through it and completely ignored Max. Right, yeah, I forgot.
Damn, space. I think Max just like committed suicide.
I'm actually fairly certain that Max has just fucking checked out.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with controller drivers. Fuck Microsoft for basically
Yeah,
killing direct input.
He's already dead. Rest in peace.
We can't kill him any
Was-
harder.
Was
He's
nice
already
knowing
dead.
you. Yeah. We're gathered here today
Fucking
to remember
fighting
the
legacy
life of
controller
Max
drivers.
Force.
There's very little else you can do to me at this point.
Oof.
Like-
That sounds like a challenge. I don't.
Yeah, sounds like a chance, Mr. Roboto. Maybe try installing some new microphones too. A new internet connection, maybe.
Oh, Jesus. That's what I thought. Okay. This is not one of my better stories. But I just can't seem to write anything else. So enjoy this.
So I'm
one.
going to write garbage and foist it upon you people for you to tell me what a good writer I am and stroke my ego and help me feel better about myself and validate me.
I don't want to hear this sort of talk on my podcast.
Yeah, stop being so negative, Atten.
He doesn't want to hear it. I don't care.
No, I am the only one with the license to talk like this on my podcast.
Yeah, dude, you're stealing his fucking stick.
I have only so many character traits, okay?
Okay,
Yeah.
first of all, you don't have character traits. You have an assemblage of character flaws masquerading.
Wait, sneaky.
No.
Check the reviews and then go to the very first review.
Oh no. What am I gonna say? I swear
Nothing
to fucking.
offensive. It's just funny.
I swear to fucking God, Arn.
Really? I don't think it's him, but oh,
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
Oh, never mind.
Aura, we're
Yeah.
calling you out!
God.
That Aura King. Boy, we calling you out!
He has been summoned to stand trial before the council.
Yeah.
Wait, where's the fuck's that picture?
Wait, hang on.
You gotta be more specific there, drunk boy.
Wait a fucking minute.
I
see another guy I recognize here.
Who
Who the fuck was Lomi Coffee?
The tribunal shall judge you, mortal.
Immediately called out by 3 people. Oh boy.
Oh god.
You fucking immediate call out.
Oh god. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very interesting stat you posted in Political. Arn.
Yeah, it really
Yes,
makes you fucking think, doesn't it?
Jogs the nog, indeed. The tribunal will now begin the judgment of Aura King.
Yeah.
Atin, you will be standing in absentia for him.
Your Honor, I plead guilty. I accept my
shit.
punishment.
I actually recognize some of these reviewers.
Yeah.
Lomi Coffee.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lomi Coffee. I think he was on the SDM for a bit.
Yeah, he was.
I think we bullied him off.
We did, and
Yeah.
we did in fact bully him off.
You make it sound like that's some kind of feat.
I mean, not really, honestly, but you know.
Oh, hey, Carrot Glance 85. Recognize him.
Characters.
Carrot's fucking here too.
Damn. Gang's all here.
We're fucking just going through this and listing names.
Yeah. God.
Watch this be good, and you have to eat crow.
What do you mean, eat crow? I said it might be good at the start.
But the calling
did.
you out posts.
No, we're calling him out just for, you know, being cringy back in 2016, dude.
Yeah, dude, come on.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
If we're Sneaky, if you're dredging up ancient history, you're no better than the liberals.
I mean, do you want me to dredge up some of my ancient history? We'll cover this one shot, and then we can go through some of the reviews that I've left over the years.
I
No
mean,
way.
those tend to be
Oh,
more
no.
scathing than anything else.
Whoa, hold up. That's not true.
Really? Really? I bet
Hmm.
if we took a pie chart of positive reviews versus Sneaky being an asshole.
Oh no,
There's
that's really not fair because Fanfiction only keeps the last 3 years of reviews, and I've been active for 10.
Oh, okay. See, that does change it. I was not aware that it only kept the last 3 years.
And in the last 3 years, I will concede
No, that definitely changes things.
that I have
3 years,
only left
we've been doing
scathing
this podcast.
There is only scathing reviews.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I think there was that one like Hermione Granger Lupin. No,
I'm
not.
what?
Wait,
No, there was that one Hermione. There was that one
Sneaky.
romance story with Hermione Granger, and it was serious. Where we were like, "This is fine. It's well written. It's not our jam, but it's fine."
What?
I remember it was one of the stories we were like, "This is actually an okay story. Not our speed, but it's an okay story."
I think you're talking about the Mass Effect story in which.
No. This was year one.
Oh, I don't have that far back. Also, I'm fairly certain I was fucking plastered. Year one me drank way fucking more than the previous 2 years.
That's true.
And that's impressive considering I only started drinking like halfway through the podcast.
I wouldn't call it impressive.
All was silent.
Sad.
In this plane, there was no sound, no light, nothing. It was complete and utter void, completely inhospitable and unsuitable for the sustenance of any kind of life. Yet despite this, despite the now hostile plane of existence it was inhabited, it did harbor life, albeit very special life forms. In this cosmos, this ether, the only ones who could survive, the only ones who could even reach this plane were the species known as Great Ones. Discoverers of the eldritch truth, they were unlike any other species, every single Great One being completely unique and separate from the others, unable to even conceive a child with another of their kind.
Welcome to hell.
Alright, and I'm not really sure why this is relevant to the story. It is a one shot. I'm not really certain where to get all this information. According to the author, the Great Ones do not fuck. I'm sure this is critical information.
True. Yes.
Well, no,
It
let's
is
be clear. It's not that they don't fuck, it's
essential.
that they can't have kids.
It is essential
That's
to
fair.
the core
As
of the story
fanfiction will
that
be
we know
very quick
that
to
the
tell
fucking
you.
old ones cannot fuck and reproduce. It is critical details.
Thank
I
you,
was gonna continue,
Cyanide.
but
He's trying to deny that someone hasn't done Ebriatis porn.
oh, absolutely, it has existed. It will exist. It does exist.
Anyway, so as I was saying, the great ones do not fuck. Not
Max,
that
can
it
you confirm?
impeded them much. As
well, I
upon
mean,
reaching this
One of
plane,
them had an abortion, so in theory they can fuck.
Yeah, I mean,
That's right. One of them
they,
did.
they can probably fuck. They can just not, reproduce through fucking.
I mean,
except for
That's
the
like
abortion.
what's
The-
specified in the story.
There's
They
a
cannot conceive a child.
there's a boss in the Chalice dungeons that is a woman who appears to have had a forcible abortion, and she is one of
I
the
see.
Eldritch Queens. She's
I
the
see.
Thumerian Queen, I think.
Old reliable coat
Yarnum?
hanger method.
you got to go way deep into the Chalice dungeons to get her.
It's literally in game for the Chalice dungeons. The
Like
pre
penultimate.
seeded dungeons, not the random seeded ones.
Odeon has a kid, canonically.
Yes. Owain has a kid, yes.
Despite not
you
having a body.
also fight an old one's nanny at some point, and she's kind of a cunt. So
Margot's wet nurse. That motherfucker who is the only person in that is susceptible to rapid poison.
Oh well,
I-
and then there's
wait, really?
isn't
Yeah.
it Rom like the mother? Isn't it Rom, mother of spiders or whatever?
Rom is
Rom-
vacuous one, I think.
Yeah,
Rom's the
Rom
big
the
old spider
vacuous.
that literally
That's
did
right.
nothing wrong.
I thought there was a boss that was like the mother, but yes, you're right. I'm sorry, but Rom does have children.
I think that was
That-
cut content.
The
What was
mother
cut-
was Cosm or
Some
the
say
queen.
Cos.
Cosm is dead.
Yeah, we see Cosm's corpse, and we see her orphan in the DLC.
Now, I have to say, I really did like the Familiar Zero story in which Luis became a cultist of Cosm, or some say Cos.
Okay, wait. How did that work?
Because it did. It's a dead story. Don't worry about it.
Don't question.
They're always dead stories.
I know. They always are. Anyway, so
Speaking of things
big
that are
fucking.
dead, my hopes for a Caiaphas Cain model.
Yep, this is a big fucking block of text that I'm really losing interest in reading. Followed by another giant block of text, something about scourges and old blood. Followed by another block of text and talking about a huntress like no other huntress ever was before. She would be the best that ever was. And
Did she collect them all?
Not only did she collect them all, to kill them
What?
was her test.
Was to train them her cause.
No, it doesn't seem like she trained anyone. It kind of just seems like she just murdered everything.
Damn.
She trained them in the mystic art of dying.
Oh, you know
Oh, yeah.
what? That's possible, considering they are great ones, and they might have forgotten how to die.
True.
She also ate things that you shouldn't be eating.
Yeah.
You know, as you do.
Oh, yeah, she ate all the umbilical cords.
Yes.
Yes, a tasty snack.
Yeah, you know, you need to learn more about the world, so you eat some
Yeah.
umbilical cords.
A chewy snack, for when you've done some research.
Beef jerky.
Gotta get that insight.
Yeah. Oh god.
Tasty pregnancy beef jerky.
Wait a minute,
yes.
is that why the liberals want to allow such late-term abortions?
Yes,
Yes.
they need to gain
They want
more
to up their
insight
insight.
so they can ascend to the greater status.
They need to get eyes inside of eyes.
Indeed.
Yes. To witness the inside of the eye. Yeah.
Anyway, so she kills the moon presence.
as you do.
They don't eat the cords; they crush it. Yeah, we know that,
Wait.
Pedro.
Hang on. How did
But
she kill the
that's
moon?
not as
By pissing
fun.
on it?
No. Literally, that's what it says right here. Her consumption of the umbilical cord. She literally ate the umbilical cords.
Delicious.
Like I said, she had some pregnancy.
I mean,
jerky.
listen. You joke about that, but Mandalorian, the latest episode of The Mandalorian, Baby Yoda consistently eats another sentient creature's children because they're eggs, and he's eating them like
Eat the
caviar.
children, I must.
No, seriously.
No, Anakin, not the children!
They make the joke like 6 times. I'm like, guys, I don't know who in the
Parenthood
room
I am
thought
working
that
for.
was funny, but it's like, you're having him eat children, literal children.
Yes, I too remember the time that Yoda walked in to the youngling training corner, and no youngling walked out.
Snack time it is.
Survival of the fittest it is. Run if you can.
Yoda uses the Room of 1,000 Fountains as his private hunting ground for younglings.
The most dangerous game it is.
Get in my belly, you will.
Get in my belly!
You know, to quote everyone's favorite shark, the children are fast, but the Combine is faster. Except in this case, the Combine is Yoda.
I still do not understand why the fuck she randomly said that. Like, she just fucking mows down this wheat field in Minecraft, and she's like, oh yes, the children are fast, but the Combine is faster. It's like, what the fuck does that have anything to do?
Is there something you need to tell the class, Gura?
That sounds like that's like from a B-tier horror comedy. That's what that sounds like. Low-budget sci-fi movie marathon.
I think it's from a farming simulator meme.
Oh, you know what? Yes. Yeah, that's
that
probably
makes sense too, yeah.
That makes sense for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just so fucking random, because she clears the field, pauses, and is like, yes, the children are fast, but the Combine is faster. And then goes back to clearing the field, and it's like, what?
No, hold on, Gura, we need some explanation here.
What?
Oh god. Wait, yeah, I think it's a farming sim version of the Big Bird one. The children are fast, but Big Bird is faster.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know the meme you're talking about. Gura, whenever Gura collabs with people, she just has the weirdest fucking clips in existence. Where it's like...
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, like, the most recent one, the Phasmophobia, there's a clip of her moaning. But in the background, you just hear Callie screaming, "This might be dangerous!" Well, no shit, Sherlock! It's like... And then Gura's just like over here, like, meowing and moaning. It's like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Honestly,
God.
Callie streams are entertaining, but it's always so much more entertaining when Callie goes on other people's streams.
Personally, I really appreciate the technical difficulties Callie crossover.
Yeah, they call up every stream. It's impressive, honestly.
It's not one without technical difficulties.
He's a practical regular.
He's the 6th member of Holo Ian.
Very true.
Oh Christ! That poor Phasmophobia surprise collab last night. Like, it crashed like 4 times.
Yeah.
That.
That
God. Too
bad.
good.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Oh, so many technical difficulties.
Ame didn't show up for a while, and then she was muted.
She just dropped in. Like, she was in the chat for a bit, and I said,
when she was trying to join in, like, they couldn't get her model to show up on screen.
Oh, wait, that. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. If that's what you meant.
Nothing. I don't think technical difficulties. I think the top technical difficulty will still forever be the Kiara stream, where suddenly she popped out of existence, and then Ina was just there in the center, and Ina was so fucking confused. Like, wait, what? Why am I on screen?
And then just pops away.
Yeah. God.
See,
that was fucking amazing.
I was like, oh no, Ina, you gotta commit. This is my stream now.
Yeah. Just start acting like she's actually doing it all.
This server has been hijacked by the ancient ones.
But yeah, I mean, I still think the funniest moment of all was Callie reacting to Ina going "step on me."
Oh. Wait, what? Callie reacted to that finally?
Wait.
I need the clip of that.
Someone said there was a clip of it.
Well, no, there's two separate clips. There's a clip of Ina saying, "Where do you want to be stepped on?" And then there's a clip of Callie being asked to step on someone, and her response is, "Are you sure? I'll do it if you want to, but are you sure I'm allowed to do that?"
I've been lied to, and I'm so disappointed.
The Reaper is so innocent somehow.
She's not.
No, she isn't, but she's really good at acting it.
Yeah.
I put it at 50-50. She definitely understands some of the stuff that's being said to her, but there's other stuff where she was just like, "Oh, what?"
The blatant stuff she gets.
Yeah.
Well, you say what makes it funny is she's the one who has the most normal sounding English too.
Well, I mean, she's from Texas.
She's Texan.
Yeah.
Okay, Texas isn't a real place. They don't actually speak English there.
Well, I mean,
I like how quick you are to like just delete state.
Okay. Well, no, hold on. I cannot. I cannot fault him for that. I still hold the personal conspiracy theory that New Hampshire is a made-up state by the U.S. government. So,
I mean,
but that's
what
true.
about Wyoming?
I forgot that was even a state.
Exactly. Is it really a state, though?
Can we just?
Who do you know from New Hampshire? No one.
Okay.
My grandmother.
We need to take New Hampshire, Maryland.
She's
and
being
Connecticut and
paid
just roll
off.
one new state.
Okay.
Wait, Max. Are you sure about that one?
I don't see why not.
Oh God.
Oh God. What's he gonna write? Oh God. Oh fuck.
Max, Maryland is down there.
It doesn't stop Russia from owning a small bit in the middle of Sweden and Finland. Why should it stop the United States? We're doing it in our own internal territory.
Wait. What the fuck are you talking about?
So Max said
Kaliningrad, Russia is sitting in the middle of Europe, cut off from the rest of Russia.
Yeah, but that's between fucking Poland and Lithuania, you retard.
Sweden and Finland are in.
No. They're across the fucking ocean. Are you retarded? Holy shit.
Hold on a second. This is
actual
not
fucking moron.
Max is a victim of the American.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Oh, this was a good clip.
Fuck's sake. You okay there, Sneaky?
no.
Alright, good.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Max.
Fucking hell.
New Hampshire, you mean Upper Vermont? Are all of you high?
Mayhaps.
I think everyone is.
What
I'm
part
not high.
of New Hampshire is Upper Vermont? Upper Vermont is Canada.
Technically, a part of New Hampshire is north of Vermont. A tiny bit.
So I'm gonna be real.
Okay,
I'm gonna be
hold on a
real
minute.
with you
It's
here.
not like this is Michigan, where Wisconsin just kind of shoves its dick in the middle.
I'm gonna be real with you guys here as well. I actually got New Hampshire and Rhode Island swapped in my mind. I still don't think New Hampshire is a real state, though. I lived next to it for 6 years, and I still don't think it's a real state.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah.
I didn't even know where New Hampshire was, and I lived 30 minutes away from it.
Well, all right.
I don't.
Geography. I had
Yeah, actually.
giving a shit about Europe.
I did, Gray.
You literally live there, right next to that state.
I mean, even
I would
Gray
also like to
knows.
point out that Max
Sneaky
said we
knows.
should combine New Hampshire, Rhode Island, or Connecticut. Was it New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Maryland?
New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Maryland. Rhode Island has done nothing to
Ah,
it.
yeah. There's only like 5 states in between them.
Roll them all in there too. I don't give a shit.
Rhode Island's
No.
getting rolled in there, Max.
And I
Unless
was
you
gonna
wanna-
say, if anything, just combine Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. We don't need those 3 states.
Not really.
Yeah,
Honestly,
true.
if we could just yeet Boston out of existence and let it be done by a real city planner, God, that'd be great.
Also, alternatively, you just yeet Boston. Don't have to redo it. Just
Yeah, there's like nuke, kaboom. No
We
Boston.
tried that. It didn't work.
The world has moved past the need for Boston.
Can someone send 2020 a memo to hurricane it 3 times?
the hurricane did
Listen.
try to.
Boston doesn't need Boston.
Exactly.
Pennsylvania
There's
is a
only one
proud
thing of
state that's
value
unique.
there.
Yeah, I have to say, Pennsylvania definitely is very unique. It looks like someone got really drunk and tried to draw a rectangle.
Yeah.
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 They tried to do Colorado several decades before Colorado.
Yeah. Or Wyoming.
I
It's
do
drunk
appreciate how you can see exactly what states were drawn by natural borders and what states at what point we just said fuck it and just said this is a state now.
Yeah.
I like. You couldn't. C8, first off, we're docking your pay.
Yep.
What
yep.
pay?
Second, well, technically, we never gave him
No.
that quarter, did we, Sneaky?
No, but let me bring
Actually,
up.
he pays you.
He does pay us. It's great.
That's the
Oh.
true spirit of
Negative pay.
capitalism.
Yes.
Exactly.
I
You're docking his
thanks,
negative
Twitch.
pay.
I believe it's this
But,
one.
like, I do find interesting that
No.
everyone's giving me, the person who dumped all of his skill points into the English language, for not understanding not just geography, but foreign geography.
That's fair.
Well, no, to be fair, you did also mess up stateside geography later.
No, I didn't mess up the
Yeah.
stateside geography. I legitimately believe we should just leapfrog them together. I don't give a fuck.
Max
you're
more or less
misunderstanding
doesn't care.
something here, Atin.
Yeah.
I don't care. I didn't mess up the geography of those 3 states. I knew they were that far apart. I knew that was separating them. I just don't care.
As far as Max is concerned, anything above the Nixon, Jesus fuck,
Mason-Dixon line.
Mason-Dixon line.
You almost had it, Sneaky. I'm not
Apparently,
going
I
to fault you for that.
I
Or the
Stupid
Richard
line.
Nixon line.
apparently I can only
The
say.
Richard Nixon line. What is the Richard Nixon line, kids? Well, you see, it's this little place in D.C. where
I honestly, apparently, I'm not able to say that without a southern accent because I tried saying it normally and then was like, all right, fuck it, southern accent. I'm like, oh, boom,
You
done.
started just choking on your spit.
Fucking
you
Mason-Dixon line. Anything north above the Mason-Dixon line, as far as I'm concerned, is one giant state. State of the Union.
That's not wrong.
State of the Junior.
and we're done.
All right, so anyway, yeah, so I'm not gonna read this. It's it could have been a good story, but literally, it's just giant fucking paragraph after giant fucking paragraph with the occasional like 1-word line break.
Nice.
Apparently, so Luis ascends to a great one, and then familiar of Zero lore happens, and they piss off Luis, and she murders everyone.
Damn.
Yes. There's
gonna
a
be like that,
reason
but
I called it hell at the beginning, and it was this story.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it could have been a good story if I really even gave a minor of a shit about reading this. But not only is it a one shot, which really degrades my ability to read stories, but it's literally just it's Luis as a great one punch manning shit in Familiar Zero.
Yeah.
So let's wrap up the night with some reviews from Sneaky Devil. You're everyone's loved host.
Oh,
Yes.
Everyone's well loved host. So
it's a shame that this only holds. Oh wait, they up. Oh, I
They
remember
have
when that
300
used to be
reviews.
100. I remember when
Yeah.
that only was 100.
yeah,
Yeah.
When did they up it to 300?
I don't know.
Huh.
Who knows?
But I do know that it only has reviews going back to 2018 for me. So
Well, okay then.
apparently I've left a lot of reviews. A lot of scathing reviews too.
Damn, imagine that.
Really weird how
Who
that
could have
works.
possibly guessed that?
Of course, we have our classic small stuff. This is the dumbest fucking thing I've read in a long time. I love it. Dragon of the Eldritch. I don't know what this is. This is instead of a fallen angel, Issei is approached. Oh right, this is a CYOA with Cthulhu mythos, where the blind idiot god, falls in love with Issei.
What?
I'm sorry, what?
Like I said, this is the stupidest fucking thing I've read in a long time. I love it.
This is a crack fix.
Oh,
right?
absolute 100% fucking
Okay.
crack
I'm
fic.
gonna
No,
have to ask you
Just-
to drop the
Alright.
link or
not
commit
not
die.
even like 0.1% serious.
Yeah, but you should just drop that in the fanfiction chat or the 9K chat, I think.
Yeah.
I'll drop this straight into the fanfiction chat to separate them.
Fair.
Oh, he never actually responded. Oh, very interesting. So, did we ever cover this story on the where everything is semicolon? I think we did.
10/16. Hang on. Let me check what day that fucking was. It was a Friday, so I'm gonna assume yeah.
It doesn't.
Or maybe not. I
No,
don't
it
know.
doesn't look like we ever covered. So I'm not gonna kill you guys with this story. So basically, this is a garbage tier story in which he fucking constantly uses semicolons everywhere, but doesn't have punctuation in other places. Like no punctuation, semicolon. In dialogue, semicolon. No punctuation, ellipses, semicolon, Slytherin. Yeah, semicolon, Slytherin. Yeah.
This causes me pain.
Yeah, literally, it's all of this. It's like so many just random ellipses. This is not even an ellipse. This is just 4 periods. It's just semicolons all over the place. This is 2 periods.
Sneaky,
is worse
stop
than
for a second.
me.
Take a deep breath. You're going to kill yourself.
If only. So you know, semicolon, no fucking punctuation, semicolons. It's a really garbage tier story. Basically, the plot is that Harry Potter ends up marrying Daphne because Daphne signed a contract. Right, that's what that's the great part. So, summary is there's no betrothal contract in this story. And that Harry Potter spontaneously gets together with Daphne and marries her. Now the issue is in chapter 1, Harry gets together with Daphne because her parents signed a betrothal contract with him. The thing that the author said wasn't in this story. So yeah, it's a garbage tier story. But the reason why I'm bringing all this up is because he actually responded to me. Private messages, more like
Oh, unprivate messages now.
unprivated messages. So
Public message.
fair enough. I put a lot of semicolons in my review, basically mocking him. And he took it with fairly good cheer, but then he started acting. And I was gonna just leave it at that, but then he started acting super condescending to me. Oh, well, I've programmed for decades, and that's just how I write now.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
Haven't we covered this before?
No, I DM'd you this.
Ah, right. Yeah. Oh, this. Yeah.
Of course, if I was to fix my story, I would have to rework the whole thing to remove the semicolons from it. No, and I did bring this up. Like, I literally gave him the definition of what a semicolon was, and he didn't respond. Because he's literally trying to justify his use of semicolons as he is properly using semicolons in his narrative. Even though it's a looked down on thing. It's like, no, you are literally not using them correctly in your own fucking narrative. And it turns out he didn't have any response to that, where I called him out for not knowing how a semicolon works.
This guy writes like he's on fucking crack or something.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And so he's going on, like, he's trying to be, like, fucking smarmy as shit, giving examples here. And he's like, exiting story mode in 3, 2, 1, wrenching sensation, exclamation point, and kaboom, semicolon, improper usage of semicolon again. I've used a semicolon in speech. Now you can unpack this. And wow, look, I just did it again. Isn't there a music video called Oops, I Did It Again? Fucking smarmy ass bitch.
I'm gonna do it again.
Anyway,
this fucker.
I clapped pretty hard on him, and suddenly he didn't feel like responding to me anymore. Really weird how that works when you get fucking absolutely destroyed.
Imagine that.
So of course we have a story that everyone here might remember or might not, depending on how much alcohol you all consumed.
Apparently enough to not remember it.
It's a Ruby story called The Inventor, where
I mean that might also have something to do with it. Because,
that's fair. Yeah, that might have something to do with it. Yep. It's a Ruby story called The Inventor, and it's about how John invents everything and just saves the world.
Oh yes.
And he's
yes, you do.
He's actually from a different world as well. Remember all this story where he's like climbing on this tree and shit? Yeah. I left a review because the author did remember. The author did say he wants a review. So I left him one. You asked for feedback, and feedback I shall grant you. When the ever-loving fuck have I read? I have 95 proof rye, and I can't understand this still. I would also like to point out that this is actually surprisingly coherent for how much 95 rye I had that night.
Yeah. Impressive, isn't it?
Oh, I spoke too soon. You have literally gotten every scientific discipline wrong that you have tried to claim knowledge so far. Why would he need new sun name? Why would he think super rabers exist? Why would he think maple leaves have hopes in them? Why is lower gravity big animal? Why is maple tress super leafy? Have you ever seen Meeple Tree W? What the fuck is this story?
Maybe go back and edit it while you're so be like, now that I'm sober, I'm here to correct my grammar.
I can't. You can't do that.
Yeah.
They're permanent.
Yeah.
So fanfiction forgets them.
And fanfic.
She is supposed to be a scientist working on quantum technology, but is fucking dumbass?
Technology? Is this, in fact, the forbidden science from Japan?
I hate your satire so much, it's actually sobering me the longer I rage about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bleach, Rebirth of Guardian, a story that you see I have read up to chapter 45 of. Imagine writing hundreds of thousands of words and still not knowing where to use quotation marks. That sums up Bleach Rebirth of Guardian quite well, sadly.
I wouldn't know, so I'll just take your word for it.
I think we've covered this one before. Is it wrong for a god slayer to have a harem of goddesses? I'm pretty sure we covered that.
I think y'all did, yeah.
Feels like it can.
I'm pretty sure I ranted about it. Basically, the author did a massive genre switch and got rid of the harem in the title.
Oh, yes, you discussed this.
And then started stroking his own dick furiously over how good of a writer he was. Sign here for Anbu. That was actually a pretty good story. Guitar Huntsman was fairly amusing as well. Blast with the Hero's Heart. Of course, I've talked a lot about that one. Let's see. You know, here's me leaving some good vibes. Dining with Divinity, very wholesome. Father's Love, very wholesome. Elementalist. Oh yes, Elementalist. It's a Ruby story I wholeheartedly recommend. It's literally I Fuerta. It's literally just Ruby I Fuerta. I've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Chronicles of Tanya the Holy. I'm happy that this is a finished Tanya story.
I would say it was a finished Tanya story that lost some steam at the end, but overall was pretty good.
Really lost some steam at the end. Jesus Christ.
Here's the thing, right? The problem was he'd made something so strong that he's like, how do I wrap up all this stuff? And he's like, I'm just gonna kind of
jam it all in.
Yeah.
Into a fucking yeah. Yes, this story. Yeah. How Kigenia Bane King can't get main character's name right, but wants to write a harem. 10 out of 10, paragon of our times.
Yeah.
Yeah, this story. Fucking cue for a new paragraph. Yeah.
Oh no, not this fucking thing. No.
Born of Caution, a Pokemon story I can't recommend enough.
Yes.
Let's see. A hybrid game. What's this one? Oh, is this the guy that said he would report people for saying mean things about his story?
Apparently.
Damn. Yeah, bring on the haters. Bring on the haters, toe. I can report you bastards. Coo.
Ah, okay, good. Yes.
Yes.
Alright, well, it's 8 o'clock, which means it's time for us to go eat and stop reading garbage.
I mean, I'll just keep doing this for a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Alright.
They want $300 fucking for an Amuro jacket. Get the fuck out of here, Bandai.
Yes, my reviews for
yes. Harry Potter and the Elf Problem. The Fall of the European Union. 6/50. The 6 million.
Oh god.
Yes. Truly classics.
Let's see here. Bijou at the Academy. Oh, I remember this one. Honestly, I only took a half a bottle of good stuff to get through. Your story is frankly horrendous. Your characterization doesn't exist, and honestly, neither does your ability to make them. You are a creative hack, and a poor one at that. You wouldn't know how to pace if someone sat you down and explained in explicit detail how to write a sentence, or frankly, again, how to write anything. As it is clear you have never read in your life read a book before, I wholeheartedly implore you to do so, as you sorely lack in every facet and function of writing. And with that, I think that we can close tonight.
Well, that didn't last very long.
No, it didn't, but that was such a good review from me.
You know what? That's fair. I respect that.
Leave it on the good note. So anyway, yeah, I know we didn't really cover too many fanfics tonight, but we had fun. At
Thank
least I
God
had
for
fun.
that. Yeah, had a good time.
Well,
More
see,
than
the
usual.
issue is that if I want more fanfics to cover, I actually have to go look at them, and I really don't feel like looking at them.
Yeah, I mean, you could use the Russian method, but
That's actually where a lot of the most recent fanfics we've covered has come from. Is my search for more fanfiction using the Russian method. Unfortunately, the Russian method is turning up less and less results of stuff that I haven't already read or discarded.
that is fair.
Also, unfortunately, the sections that I read stuff for are getting quite small, and they aren't really making
Ain't that a good thing?
I guess. Well, it's like not a lot of people write Left 4 Dead fanfic. Not a lot of people write prototype fanfic. Is it a good
Imagine
thing they
my
don't?
shock.
I mean, 50-50.
Probably.
But
Yeah.
it's like, there's only like what 50 Tanya fanfics, and like 50 of them are trash. But
Imagine that.
but it's like, is it bad that more people write for a fanfic section? I'm a fan of mine enjoy.
Honestly, I'm gonna have to ask you to shut the fuck up.
50-50. Would I like to read more fanfics? I guess, but the reason why I turned to fanfics is because the fiction section was letting me down. There was each year,
Oh,
every
boy.
time I went back to the Barnes and Noble and the Borders, and every time I went back for more fantasy books, I just got less and less each year, and eventually I just didn't bother going anymore because there was no good books ever being published anymore. The summaries are either fucking god awful, or me just flipping through the book, I was just like, wow, this is fucking trash. I hate the characters, the descriptions are just gaudy, or the plot's contrived, and it just got really boring. It just all the new fiction that was being published started reading like fan fiction. So at that point, I was like, "Fuck it! I'm just gonna start reading fan fiction. It's free. If I'm gonna get this crappy experience, I might as well not pay for it."
That is fair.
And that was supposed to tide me over until good shit started coming out, and good shit doesn't fucking come out anymore. Everyone just fucking renditions the same ass garbage over and over again. We need a world war.
Yeah, we do. Honestly, we do. I mean, you guys are gonna have some fun soon.
Is there any fantasy books I would recommend? The Drizzt series, like as controversial as it is in terms of quality, it's genuinely a massive series that you can spend probably months reading in, because there's like 173 something books, and they're not thin books either. The Forgotten Realms section, I suppose, is would be better called these days, which started off as the Drizzt series. You're gonna get a very mixed bag with it because there's a lot more authors writing for Forgotten Realms, but pretty much all of the Forgotten Realms authors do have to work with R.A. Salvatore, the guy who writes Drizzt, which functions as basically the spine of the Forgotten Realms written series. Other fantasy stories I might recommend. City of Bone was pretty good, I suppose. That series was okay. Wasn't bad. Let's see, anything fucking else? Dresden, I personally haven't read it, but Atin raves about it, so it must be okay. Discworld series, personally, again, haven't read it. Atin likes it. Is there anything else I would recommend? Not really. Aragon series was okay up until book 2, I suppose.
So just read book 1.
I've heard mixed things about City of Bone. Yeah, no, that series in general is like, I picked it up and I was like, oh, no, book 2 of Aragon's great. Book 2 is, in my opinion, the best book in the series. It's just the problem is that a lot of shit in book 2 is left open, which book 3 and book 4 are supposed to close on, and the author failed to do that. Newsflash. That's another series I would say I would wholeheartedly recommend. That was a fucking roller coaster of a ride. Unfortunately, the rest of her books, because she's written multiple series, the person behind Newsflash, her other books are basically less inspired versions of Newsflash. Less interesting versions as well. I again haven't read them personally, but I was gonna go read them actually, and then I saw a shit ton of reviews basically bringing up a lot of concerns I had, saying that they're all prevalent in her newer books, because Newsflash was pretty much a breakout series for her in terms of popularity compared to her older books. So she kind of tried to rewrite Newsflash, but put a different skin over it, and it didn't quite work out. From what I've heard. Newsflash. It's a play on words. Because it's about zombies. And the main characters are bloggers. Newsflash, it's Newsflash. Get it?
I am laughing very hard as we speak.
And that's gonna about cover it for tonight. So we'll see you all on Tuesday, because there is always more, and it does always get worse.